Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for visiting, checking out my videos. Today's video is one that has actually been requested, and I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about UBC's first year residence complexes and the types of rooms that you would find in Place Vanier, Orchard Commons, and Totem Park. And with that being said, I'm also going to be talking a little bit about the relative expenses of living in each of those. I'm going to stop talking now because you're going to be sick and tired of my voice by the end of this video, so let's just jump into the video. Let's go! So to start off, the very first thing is that first year housing is completely random. Whether you're in Orchard, Totem, or Vanier, you have absolutely zero say in where you end up and what type of room you specifically have. UBC has so many first year students to accommodate that it really doesn't matter to them where you end up. As long as you have a room, they're happy. And you also just kind of have to be happy. Be aware that there are actually options later on in the summer to try and switch rooms. There is an online chat forum that you can go to and connect with other people if you are trying to switch your room. Before we jump into this, there are three main types of rooms that you will typically find in your first year residences. You will usually find a single connected, a single room, or a shared room. Whether or not your shared room is a shared compact or a shared double really doesn't mean much other than if it is shared compact, it's squishy. We're gonna start with Place Vanier because Place Vanier is very near and dear to my heart. That is where I lived during my first year, and if this COVID-19 situation had not become a global pandemic, that is where I would still be living. But here we are in quarantine. Within Place Vanier, there are 13 houses, of which 11 are co-ed and 2 are strictly all girls. The other 11 houses are all co-ed, where most of them alternate between girl and boy floors. If you end up in Korea House or Tech de Monterey, those ones are actually co-ed floors. I personally didn't find it to be an issue living with both boys and girls on my floor. Honestly, at least for me, if I was in an all-girls house, I would have gone absolutely mad. The two main types of rooms that you would find in Vanier are single rooms and shared rooms. And the actual layout of the rooms kind of varies from building to building. The single rooms are pretty consistent. And then double rooms, they do vary a little bit because in some buildings there are compact shared rooms, which are pretty dang tiny. And then there's just like a normal shared room where, you know, you've got your 2 beds on either side of the dorm, and then you got your 2 dressers and your 2 desks and all that jazz. The actual layout changes from building to building. There is definitely some privacy depending on the layout, but that's not something you're really gonna know until you get there. Depending on what building you're in and what type of room you're in, the cost for residence does vary. Typically speaking, a single room costs more because you have your privacy and you're not sharing it with a roommate. At least in Korea House, I know my rent was about $850 a month. It was a single room in one of the newest buildings. If you were in a single room, say, in one of the older houses, it would probably be a little bit less. In general, your single room is probably going to cost you about $700 to $800 depending on what building you're in, and a shared room will obviously cost you a little bit less because you've got someone else living with you, and those typically range probably from about $600 to $700 or so, in and around there. Next we have Orchard Commons, and Orchard Commons is where everybody wants to live because it's a beautiful building, it's brand spanking new. Everybody goes all googly-eyed for Orchard Commons because it sounds pretty, it looks pretty. And to be fair, if you're on the top floor, you have a spectacular view of the ocean. Within Orchard Commons, there is one type of room. If you are in Orchard Commons, you have a single connected. A single connected, basically, as it sounds, is a single room connected to another single room by a bathroom. With a single connected, you have your own bathroom that you share with your roommate. Pretty straightforward. Because Orchard Commons is one of the more luxurious residences, it does cost significantly more than all of the other ones. Residence fees for Orchard Commons start at about $900 and run up to about $1,100, give or take a few dollars. So you're looking at $900 to $1,100 per month to live in Orchard Commons. And the other thing that you need to think about too is that your meal plan exists on top of that, which is another like $5,500 depending on how much food you eat. So Orchard Commons is definitely a little bit more expensive. Another thing to note about Orchard Commons is that there are 2 main houses. Both of them are co-ed houses and they all have mixed gendered floors. And last but not least, we have Totem Park. And Totem is going to drive me a little bit crazy because they have 10 houses and 3 different types of rooms. So I'm going to try and break this all down for you. The houses that have single connected rooms and only single connected rooms rooms are Humblesome and Callahan. They are the newest buildings, and as I said, they're all single connected. So the same as Orchard Commons, they all have a room connected by a bathroom to another room. Because they are a part of Totem Park, they're also in the most southern part of campus. Cessnom House is at least a 20-minute walk from the center of campus, which for some people can be pretty problematic if you're always running late in the morning. And then the 7 other houses are a mix of shared rooms and single rooms. I'm not totally sure what the breakdown is in terms of shared rooms versus single rooms in the other houses, because sometimes they're mixed and other times they're not. The 7 other houses in Totem Park are significantly older than Humblesome, Callahan, and Cessnom House. If you're in one of those 3, you're going to be very, very happy with where you've ended up. From what I understand, the single rooms in Totem Park are significantly smaller than what they are in Vanier, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same, so it doesn't really matter where you end up. As Totem is also a bit of an older complex, the fees are significantly lower, with the exception of being in one of the 3 newer houses. So you can find rooms in Totem that start as low as like $450. If you are in one of the newer ones, that can run right up to almost $1,000. I'd say that Totem and Orchard have some of the more expensive rooms. Totem and Vanier definitely have some more affordable options. That pretty much does it for the first year residence room types. If you do have any questions or there are things that I left unanswered that you would have liked me to, let me know down in the comments below and I will be happy to reply to you. I am so bored up here in quarantine, and studying for finals is just not something I want to do right now. Please leave some questions and I will happily answer. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you found this video helpful. I will hopefully be back with another video for you guys soon. I've been kind of getting into this rhythm recently and I want to try and keep it up, but bad timing on my part because I have all my finals next week. Woohoo! Anyways, thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.